together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Wow, everything I have said for the last 8 minutes is null and void. Can you hear me now? No wonder people were leaving. What would have been nice is if they would have said, I can't hear you. Oh, they probably didn't know I was talking. That's probably why they left. Fuck. Oh, well. Oh, well. You guys missed some really good shit. Uh, okay. Well, I have to remember to start checking that again. I know what happened. I had to unplug it because I was in a meeting yesterday and my cat was trying to play with it. Um, I can't. Oh, I haven't really gotten anywhere. I haven't even really gotten started yet. I've read a paragraph. Other than that, I've just been yakking. I've been yakking about the something I just started. So we're at the 9 minute mark, and we're gonna start over. I apologize, rewatchers. They're gonna start this. They're gonna be like, and they're gonna think something's wrong with their shit. So I'll try and make a little notation. No sound till 8 minutes. Okay. I'll have to go back and do that. So let's get started, which is just fine. Jill just showed up. See, everything happens in God's world for a reason. So Instagram got to listen to me for the last 8 minutes. But so, hey, Jill, we are actually just getting started. So we had some technical difficulties. So just in time. See how that works? I was over here thinking, you know what? This is gonna suck. There's nobody here again. That's what I was thinking. And then God's like, well, you have no sound. So guess what? You're gonna have to start over and your friends will be here by that time. That's exactly what happened. That's God working in my life. You think he doesn't work the small miracles too? He works all the miracles, every single miracle. Thank you, God. Thank you for giving me a technical difficulty so I could get what I wanted. Now I'm fine with it, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the 12 by 12. I'm reading out a specific point because it just covered, it was the same thing. Then I'm going to read what the principles are. Then I'm going to read out of the book. All right. Everybody ready? So I'm going to start this over. So, practicing these 12 steps, we had a spiritual awakening about which finally there was no question. Looking at those who were only beginning and still doubting themselves, the rest of us were able to see the change setting in. If you see a change setting in one of your fellow alcoholics, especially a newcomer, say something because they don't know. They don't know yet until somebody tells them. And there's nothing better when you're new at 30 days and somebody says, your eyes are shining, man. You look good. You look so much better. Good job. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't the sound of all of that feel good? Because it does to me. And I do it all the time. Even with people I don't like. I like your hair today. If I like something, I'm going to tell somebody. Why not? Especially when I see somebody having a hard time, but I can see progress. I will let them know, hey, what I just saw was progress. Do you know how neat that is? That is so cool. Good job. That isn't very hard to say. And it only takes a couple of seconds, and then you made that person's day. And then guess what? That new person goes home and is even better to their wife or their husband or their kids because you gave them a little bit of hope. We're hope dealers, friends. We're hope dealers. Yeah, see, Jill remembers that day. I remember that day when somebody told me, I felt beside myself. I felt very proud of myself. And I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself. It's what you do with it. Okay? I'm proud of myself. I don't need to tell you guys everything. You're already proud of me. You're already proud of me. I don't need to tell you everything. That'd just be bragging. That's why I give you guys what I'm doing in chunks. Because I don't like bragging. I just don't. All right. Looking at those who are really beginning, but we could predict from great numbers of such experiences, we could predict. This is how I do it. That the doubter who still claimed that he couldn't, I'm sorry. Let me start that over. From the great numbers of such experiences, we could predict that the doubter who still claimed that he hadn't gotten the spiritual angle, there are some people who feel like they haven't gotten the spirituality yet. And so, two types of people here, and those who still considered his well loved AA group the higher power. Yes, group of drunks. People use it all the time. It's got to change. It's got to change. It's a good beginning. But listen here. Well-loved AA group, the higher power, would presently love God and call him by name. That means they'll make the switch. They will make the switch over to calling this person God, or this entity God, or this thing bigger than ourselves God. Okay? I did that in the beginning. I called my God Batman. I was 18 and I was fucking around trying to be terminally unique. It wasn't long before I turned my higher power into God, a few short months. I didn't fuck around with that. Very good. Now I just have a running joke that my first higher power was Batman. But really, it wasn't. I was just trying to be an idiot. So what happened? I would presently love God and call him by name. That's what would happen. Okay. Now, what about the rest of the 12th step? The wonderful energy it releases and the eager action by which it carries our message to the next suffering alcoholic, and which finally translates the 12 steps into action upon all of our affairs, is the payoff, the magnificent reality of Alcoholics Anonymous. I live in the magnificent reality. I am in what's called the maintenance steps. I live in steps 10, 11, and 12 at all times, in all my affairs, in everything that I do. Even when I'm taking out the damn trash, it doesn't matter. Doing the dishes. Oh, Dion, how can you practice your principles doing the dishes? Have a good fucking attitude. That's how. Be grateful that you have dishes to do. Be grateful that you had enough trash to put in the trash can to put outside. That's what I'm talking about. Having a good attitude in everything that you do. What, you think you are below things? I'm going to tell you guys something. I let my peers at work know, because we still do things by paperwork. We don't have computers. We are so far behind. Yeah. I'm not bragging, Dion. I'm fucking proud of myself. There you go. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. Okay. I'm fucking proud of myself. But you don't see me putting it out on Facebook. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. And then getting other people to do that for me and paying them a very low sum while I make a bunch of money. Go read what I just put out. That's right. I connected RCOs and multi-level marketing. I busted them. I doubt they even know they're doing it, but they are. They're becoming multi-level marketers. When you decide that you're going to make most of the money, that you're going to make 80% of all the money that or revenue that comes in, that's what happens. It automatically becomes that way. can't be helped. Because in order to make that amount of money, you need to have a certain amount of people doing a certain amount of things. Oh, your recovery coach will pay you when you do this. Okay. If you're not getting paid to post their shit, that's not a job. That's called volunteer work. And you're working for free. And I think it's bullshit. I think you should stop it. That's what that whole thing's about. All right, back onto it. And that is 12-step work. How is it 12-step work? Because I'm informing people on what is actually going on. That's 12-step work. I'm not putting anybody down. I put anybody's name in there. We all know who you are. You didn't. Oh, you know who we are? Yeah, you wanted to become popular. You are. So we all know what you're fucking doing. That is the price you pay for stardom. It's the price you pay. If you want that, you best be ready to sacrifice any passion you want. You best be ready to sacrifice. Last 3 years, I have lived way below my means. Way below. I don't bitch. I don't complain. Hey, I don't have new clothes. I drive around a borrowed car with a check engine light on. So fucking what? I don't care. And it has California plates on it too. So people are always riding my ass. It's funny. Okay. Let's get back to this. Okay. Even the newest comer finds undreamed rewards as he tries to help his brother alcoholic, the one who is even blinder than he is. This indeed is the kind of giving that actually demands nothing. He does not expect his brother suffer to pay him or even love him. And then he discovers that by divine paradox of this kind of giving, he has found his own reward. Whether his brother has yet received anything or not, his own character may still be gravely affected, but somehow knows that God has enabled him to make a mighty beginning. And he senses that he stands at the edge of new mysteries, joys, and experiences of which he had never dreamed. It probably wasn't until when I got sober the first time. It was probably only a week before I went on my first 12-step call. I've been sober about a week. I had no idea what I was doing. Okay. Obviously, I didn't go alone. I went with a much more experienced member. Okay. I went with Ron Hazelton, who I miss very much. I have no idea where he went. I miss him. He was the house manager of the Phoenix Concept when I was there. So, and I remember my first 12-step call. I don't remember. I remember the feeling. I don't remember going or the person, but I remember the feeling. And I remember feeling so elated when I got home that I couldn't sleep that night. It was very hard to get to sleep because I was so elated because I'd hit a pink cloud. Yes, after a week. I was 18. Do you know how long it takes to sober up when you're 18? About 12 hours. No problem. When you're 45, month and a half. It's true. It's true. Okay, so, and I hadn't been drinking that much. I was living on the streets. I didn't have any money. I actually hadn't been drunk in a couple days. So I had actually been sober for a few days by the time I got there. So, all right. Practically every AA member declares that no satisfaction has been deeper and no joy greater than the 12-step job well done. To watch the eyes, that's what I look for first. It's the first thing I look for. Is the first, like when I go through and somebody new has popped on the recovery scene, I look at their eyeballs first. Okay. There's one guy, I don't remember his name, but there's a new way for professional men to get sober. And these men are saying they're sober, but I'm looking at their eyes and they're dead. There's no sparkle. There's no, and this happened and that happened and it was so cool. And no, it's I came in and then it was great. And no, you guys know what I mean. No humility, no God. I know when you got Jesus. I know when you got Jesus. Because you're going to look like my eyeballs, shining. I could walk around my eyeballs going, ding. They watch the eyes of men and women open with wonder as they move from darkness into light. And that's what it is. Our eyes shine because we're in the sunlight of the Spirit and the sun is shining off our eyes. In other words, there's sunshine coming through our eyes. Right? The eyes are the gateway to the soul. That's why when I do the podcast, I like to see the other person. I'm watching their eyes. It gives me all the indications I need on what to say next, how to act. It's really cool stuff. All right. To see their lives quickly fill with new purpose and meaning, to see whole families reassembled, to see the alcoholic outcast received back into his community in full citizenship, and above all, to watch these people awaken to the presence of loving God in their lives. These things are the substance of what we receive as we carry AA's message to the next alcoholic. All right, so if we're practicing these principles in all of our affairs, we need to know what the principles are. Hi, Ingrid. You missed all the reading, so I'm not going to tell you where at. And you're not as late as you think because the first 9 minutes had no sound and I had to start over. So you're not as late as usual. You're just kind of late. If you were on time, I'd wonder what was wrong with you, Ingrid. I'd be like, what happened? She got time now? I don't think so. See, that's the thing. My kids are grown, they're out of the house. I don't have all that stuff to deal with anymore. Actually, that's not true. They do go through stuff, but my wife takes care of most of that. Because, I don't know. Oh, I'm not going to talk about that. All right. So, in fact, it says right here, what exactly are these principles and where did they come from? Over the years, a list of principles that correspond to each of the 12 steps has been printed in AA newsletters and on pocket cards. It's not in the 12 by 12. They're not in the 12 by 12. They're not in the big book. You're going to have to search for this list. Okay. I found it in Drop the Rock. You could Google it pretty easy. In fact, you know what? Did you hear what they just said? Let's do something. But did you hear what they said? We're not doing this because I remember them. And on pocket cards. Those are just little business cards. What a great idea. Maybe we need to go back to that. I think I'm going to print off and laminate a bunch of little cards like that. I'm going to start giving them out. Okay. Not a new idea. There's never any new ideas. There's too many people in the world. You don't have an original idea. You don't. They're all taken. They're done. They're over with. Just accept that and move on. All right. So step 1 is honesty. Pretty clear on why it should be honesty, right? Step 2 is hope. Step 3 is faith. Step 4 is courage. That would make sense. Courage. Let's talk about these and why a little bit, just for a second. So step one is honesty. Why do we need honesty? Because we're going to get ready to admit that we are alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. Step two is hope. Why is it hope? Because we are introducing a higher power into our lives. Step three, faith. We're asking. Okay. Faith without works is dead. So what we are doing is we are asking God to remove all the things that might block us from him or her at that time, because we're getting ready to go into step four, and faith and courage go together, right? All men of faith have courage. All men of faith have courage. Faith without works is dead. Does that make sense? Why you need to have faith in the third step? Because you're going to need courage in the fourth step. And you can't have courage without faith. You can't have courage without hope. You can't have courage without being honest. Step five, integrity. Because there's that honest thing again. But what is integrity? Doing the right thing even though nobody else is around. Let's say nobody will see anything. Kitten. Step six, willingness. Because we're getting ready to ask God to remove every single defect of character that we just found out through our courage and our integrity. Oh, you switched, Joe. Fucking me up. You fucking me up, you go. I don't know what it is. Instagram. There's problems with Instagram. It doesn't seem to hold the video, and it seems to kick people out. So, all right. So, step six is willingness. Step seven is going to be humility, because at this point, we're going to need to muster all of our will, all of it. But we don't have any willpower. Bullshit. Yes, you do. You just don't have willpower for alcohol. Okay? So you're going to have to exert all of your all of your will into it. I'm going to tell you why. Why is it humility? Emotional sobriety. This is where we grow the fuck up. This is where we grow up. Right here. This is where we grow up emotionally. When we start figuring out, hey, I need to stop relying on other people for who I am. Oh, yes, in step seven. That is done in step seven. Okay, step eight, brotherly love. Why? Because we're about to forgive. But what is brotherly love? You know what brotherly love? Come on, everybody, get together and love your brother, right? Brotherhood, we know what it is. I think we should call it humanhood. Let's call it humanhood here, right? Because that way the girls feel involved too. Right? I got a lot of sisters in this program. I got a lot of sisters, at least 6 or 7. Right? I have a lot of brothers in this program. Probably close to 12, 10, 12. And we talk all the time. Love you. We get off I get off the phone with these people. I say I love you. I think people at work think I'm fucking cuckoo. Every time he gets on the phone, he's telling he loves these people. I thought that was a professional call. It is. But it doesn't matter because I fucking love you. Doesn't mean I want you. It means I care what happens. Brotherly love. Now, does that make sense? Because right before that, we had to do emotional sobriety, which is learning about how to love appropriately. Right into step 7. That's how I work it with my sponsees. When we get to 6 and 7, we stop and we work on emotional sobriety. I do not use drop the rock for my steps 6 and 7. I utilize the 12 by 12. And then when we're done with all the steps, then they can read outside literature. But I have a rule that if you're working with me, you can only read AA literature. That's it. You can't because the other stuff is what I would call like advanced AA. In other words, you need to know certain stuff before the other stuff's even going to stick, before you're going to even be able to understand it. Okay, I didn't understand it. Step 8 was brotherly love. Step 9 is justice. Okay. You too. I'm presuming that you're leaving, Ingrid. I love you. Have a good day. If not, then I still love you. So here we go. I'm just grabbing the definition of justice because it's perfect. A concern for justice, peace, a genuine respect for people. A genuine respect for people. You don't even have to love them. But respect, guess what, guys? I'm finding, at least for me, that respect comes with love. It comes with it. It comes with a sort of love for my fellow human, for my fellow brother or sister. Okay? That's what justice is. Justice isn't about going around making sure that people pay for what they've done. That's not justice. That's revenge. Okay? And we don't do revenge. We want revenge. Okay? Let's talk about karma just real quick. If you wish bad karma on somebody, well, karma will take care of them. That's still bad. That's still wishing bad on somebody else. Well, no, not karma will do it. No. Don't do that to yourself. Step 10, perseverance. Why? Why is it perseverance? We've been working so hard. Now I have to persevere? Yeah, and you're going to want to. You're going to want to, actually. When you get to step 10, it is like liberation, my friends. It is liberation. And why must you persevere in step 10? Because it is the first maintenance step. It covers steps 1 through 9 so that you don't have to do something silly like another 4-step. I've only had to do one. Going up on, well, I'm just going to stick with 6.5 years. I've written one 4-step. I haven't needed to write another 4-step. I utilize all the steps every day. I practice the principles in all of my affairs. If I make a mistake, I correct it as soon as possible. There was a disruption at work. I knew this person wasn't going to be back for a couple of days, so I took care of it before they left. Why? Because they deserve a nice, peaceful weekend just as much as everybody else. That's why. Did anything have to do with the fact that they interrupted me and they were rude? No, actually, not in that situation. It's part of the job, actually. Nope. That would actually be me taking things personally. And I did. So what I did back was be nice. It's the only answer I really have anymore. Sure, I could sit here and think of a way to get back at them, but no. Then I would require another 9th step, and sorry, no. That's the trick behind step 10. Step 11 is spiritual awareness. Step 11 is all about getting closer to God at all times, in everything that you do, in everything that you touch, every breath that you take, every move that you make. He'll be watching you. You like how I that was pretty good. Good job, Dan. Good job. Okay. Step 12 is service. I've been talking about step 12 for 38 minutes now. Of course, you guys only got to hear 30 minutes of it. All right, that's going to be it. 40 minutes of me talking, I think, is enough. I really do. I actually have to work, so I have to go to work. I have 20. See, as a peer support specialist, I had close to 30 classes that I needed to take. I can tell you more. I can tell you now, it's a lot more than 30 EDU. I'm way past 30 EDUs at work. Okay. That's why I've been saying, if you're a recovery coach and you're calling yourself a peer support specialist, you can get in trouble. You can. That's impersonation. Stop impersonating. If you're not something, don't call yourself something. It's just stupid. All right. I put out probably what's called, which is probably kind of a controversial. I do not mind, but it is going to be called Recovery News You Can Use. And on that one, I talked about RCOs and how they have become multi-level marketing companies. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Even the first 8 minutes. All right. I love you guys. Peace out and have a day.